everybody, Brandon with the Chosen Prime here, and today we are taking a look at Fantastic Model FM-02 Margh. Now, Margh, as you may know, is definitely a fantastic model. It's actually a fantastic toy, which may actually be a fan's toy. I would say that's probably a fair statement. Let's take a look at the accessories first, huh? So first things first, you have an axe, and we'll touch on this a little later. This is for the base robot. So that is for your white inner Ultra Magnus. Next thing we've got here, we've got our faces. I put the eyes on because they come on sprues, but this will give you an idea of all of the faces that you can put on your Ultra Magnus or Margh. So you got the happy face, you got the kind of distressed face here, and then if we switch back over here again, you have the yelling face here, very angry here, and a little bit stoic there. And then he comes with the full stoic face on him already. So that is those accessories. Now, these pieces here are replacements for the chest if you so wish to put them there. If you don't like the windows, they give you these, and they just pop in very simply. They're very easy to pop in. In fact, I'll go ahead and just show you how to do it. So you're out in front of it. You got to pop the chest up first, and then you just open these and pop it out. So you can pop this one in if you so choose. And we'll just show you this look all together so you can decide what you like better. And we'll close them back up. Let's see if I got that on right. Appears I did not. Something's not on. Oh, yeah, I didn't get it in the pegs. Let's take it back out. Whoa, we're blowing stuff everywhere. There we go. Got it in the pegs. And then we just pop that back down like that. And that gives you the cleaner look of no windows. So you can kind of take a look. I'll bring it up close here so you can see that offers a really nice clean look. Very animation accurate, I would say. More so than the windows for sure. But if you like the toy look, then the windows are for you. The last thing we'll take a look at here before we outfit him with his rifle is the Magnus head showing both stages and him kind of crumbling probably under Galvatron's rifle. So you can take a look at that. That is a very cool piece that they really didn't have to throw in there. But the detail on it is really good with the showing the breakage and everything here. I think it's really neat. Next thing we can take a look at, we've got his shoulder missiles, and these missiles do actually pull out. So that's kind of a nice feature that I wasn't really expecting, to be honest with you. They're a nice finish all the way through. So those are full red. I don't anticipate any kind of rubbage. It glides in very smooth, so I don't anticipate rubbing the red paint off of there by utilizing that. Last thing here we have is the rifle. So our rifle is equipped with a flipping handle for each hand. Now I'll show you here in a second my personal preference on this. But if you want to equip it in the hand and put it how it is supposed to go, you can do that. And you can hold it very well, very clean, very simply, and give you a nice look. You can also have any kind of pose you so wish. If you want to do that, you can get him very easily posed. It's a real great figure. As far as posability, I would say it's probably up there with maybe any Magnus that we've seen on any level. So I want to show you this deal on the gun real quick. So if you take the handle and you just kind of put it in the neutral position, you can actually seat this down in the hand a little tighter. And I personally prefer that look. It just offers a little cleaner look, even though the handle's kind of hanging out the bottom. I like the way it is here more in the hand than, say, this position where the peg would be. So just a personal preference thing, but he does have plenty strong enough hand to grip that rifle however you so choose. So if you wanted to do it that way, you can do it that way as well, but it will peg in tight. So last thing here we'll take a look at is his articulation. Fully posable fingers as to be expected, and they have gone to these more rounded organic looking fingers now, which is really nice. I'm very, very appreciative of that look. They look better than the blocky style from before. Arms, again, full range of motion on the arms. They're fantastic. No issues. Even the pylons, like you get this outer arm reach if you so choose to use it to avoid this getting in the way of moving the arm. So that's also a nice feature. Ankle tilt is massive. It's just huge. So you can get him way out there if you want to, and he's got a ton of range of motion for a figure this big and bulky. So we can kind of show you how this guy might get into some much more aggressive poses than we've probably seen on any other Magnuses. Just real smoothly. He's balanced good, so you don't have to worry about him tipping over or anything like that. We could get him in a running pose here, again, very easily. So last but not least, as far as articulation goes, I left him like this on purpose to show that he does have waist swivel. He does have ab crunch. Now, you can also seat this down, and if you look in here, there's a couple of peg holes, and these pegs right here will just pop right in there. And you can actually seat this guy and make him fully static. And I don't personally care for that too much, but it does offer a cleaner look. I just tend to use more dynamic posing, and that does take away your waist swivel. So that's kind of the one thing that is an upside downside thing to having it fully seated there. But now let's take a look at this guy with a couple of other bots that you might be posing him with, and we'll start with Hot Rod, and you can see there's definitely a size discrepancy there. Even though Margh may not have time for this right now, we'll put him right there, Mr. Blur, and Sergeant Cup in the front to kind of highlight all the size there of similar figures from this line and Season 3 bots. So hopefully you guys like what you see here. We're going to come back with the inner core robot mode. We'll take a look at that and see what you guys think of that. But we'll give you one last look at Margh up close here. We'll get these guys out of the way and give you one more look here of Margh up close. You can see that first face. One other thing I want to show you guys real quick. The way that these ears are the way they work, they have to pop out for transformation. And I really struggled with it. So the way that I ended up doing it was I took the face off. And in there, you can put like a little small pry tool in there and pop them out from the inside here, rather than trying to pull on them here. There's just nothing for me to get my hands on. Maybe as you use them a little further, they'll loosen up a little bit, but I just really was struggling with something to hook them to, and so I just wasn't comfortable doing that very many times. So we'll put the head back on here and give you one last look at Margh before we come back with the base robot mode. I appreciate you guys taking a look at this. We'll be right back. All right, we're back with Margh here without the armor now. So we'll take a look at this guy. I just want to highlight how special I think this part of the figure is. The armor is almost a bonus, like an upgrade to me that just happened to come with it, because this figure itself is very impressive. So I want to show you guys how it works, how it looks, and see what you think. So first things first, let's look at this face. The way they did the mask and the way they did the head, it has such a sinister look to it. It's much more violent looking than any Optimus face you would put on there. It just has a much more violent look to it, which, you know, for this base mode, I think is fantastic. The shade that they used on the blue looks really great too. So I'm very happy with the head sculpt. Obviously, head articulation, we have tons of it. It really functions very well. The other thing I can show you here is some of the other details. We'll start with the legs here. You can go either way with this. If you want to roll this over and just go with the straight white, you can do that as well. And either look is just fine. It's just personal preference. I threw the extra detail on for showing you here. The next thing we're going to take a look at, we'll pop the chest open and take a look at this matrix in here and how his matrix panel goes. So you got to get up under here and pop that up. It's a little bit tricky to get your hand in there, but you can do it. And there's your matrix up in there. You can see, oh, it's sliding out a little bit. There we go. Now it's seated. We can pop it out. We'll show it to you. That's the best way to get it out right there for sure. So take a look at this matrix, and you can see it's a nice blue with a lot of shine to it. The gold is shiny, the silver is shiny, everything is shiny on this matrix. So we'll pop it back in, pop his chest back closed again, and again, like with the chest, nice clean line, nothing showing there, no big gap or anything that we've seen in the past. Posability wise with the arms, elbow movement, you've got tons of it, and arms go this way, arms go that way, shoulder fully out. So if you want to get a cool pose like that, you can do something along those lines, very simply, very easily. We've got a ton of ab crunch, so he can get very nicely posed with his axe here, just as a example. We'll get him going with something there, just to show you guys how nice this guy is and how nicely balanced he is. Very smooth, very easy to manipulate this guy around without worrying about him having to tip over or something along those lines. You do, as you move him around, you'll probably have to play with this chest a little bit to get it closed up, because it's on a hinge. So I'll show you this right here. It hinges out like this, so that's why it sometimes wants to pop open as you're manipulating it. But we'll take a look. We got 90 plus on the knee bend there, so that also allows for some outstanding posability. But we'll get him kind of stood back up in his more static position, so you can take a look at just the cleanliness of the bot. When you want to pop the ab crunch away, you can do that. You just pop that down and everything's nice and clean. So if you take a look all the way around, he is just super clean. Backpack, everything is really just smooth, svelte, no issues there at all. So we'll take a look at the axe here, and this is something that they did a fantastic job on. The way that this axe looks in the light, it looks like it has a blade on it. It's very neat. The shade of blue is beautiful, and the way it just pops in the light is pretty unreal. They did a great job on that. I'll show you how it pops on. So you just have this little peg here, and the axe obviously has a little hole there. Now, one thing I will tell you is when you're moving him around, I would recommend holding on to the axe. You can do it. It's not loose or anything. It's as I say that, I flipped it to the floor. But that's why I would recommend holding on to it, because these joints are tight. So when you're moving the joint, it tends to want to pop off. So I recommend either getting the arm in the position you want it, or just being a little more careful with it, or just holding on to it. One or the other. Any solution will work fine for you. We can show this guy off a little bit further here with some comparisons. If we want to take a look at that, we'll get him compared up here with some of his cohorts that we've already seen. So there is Hot Rod, and even though we may not have time for this right now, here's Blur also, and Sergeant Cup. Get all those guys in there, and you can see kind of how they match up size-wise. So I think this bot is fantastic in both the modes that we've seen so far. We'll come back, we'll show you the truck mode, and we'll give you some final thoughts. All right, guys, we're back. We got to look at Margh in truck mode here. So we got this guy transformed. I want to show you a couple of the features. We'll show you a little bit of a comparison to kind of finish this up. So first things first, we'll take a look at the trailer. This trailer is car hauler style. You could easily put a Lambo in here, or one of the other Datsuns perhaps, maybe even like Hot Rod or Cup, any of your Season 3 bots that you might have. Any of them could go in there. Now, the one thing I want to show you is loading them might be a little different. This piece just sits down in here, and I don't see anywhere for it to go. So you're not going to load it in very easily, but you could slide it in from the side, and these really aren't designed as ramps, even though they're ramps. So I would say as far as loading a vehicle on there, you're going to have to load it from the side, but that gives you at least a understanding of how this trailer works. The next thing I want to show you is how the missiles attach. So there's just a rail right here that this slides right into. So I do like the system. The system works. They pop on very easily, and they hold fine. What I don't like is the inability to pivot them up or down. Not to say that too many of them do that, too many of our other Magnuses do that. I would just like the ability to be there. Other than that, I think the trailer holds together very well. It's solid. There's no like pieces that you feel like are just gonna fall off of it in any way, shape, or form. So I think they got that correct, and the shape of the trailer, the general look of it, it's right on point. So now we'll take a look at the truck itself. So you can see the cab is very well proportioned. I think probably more so than most of the other trucks we've seen. And the reason I say that is how long the front end, or how tall the front end is. It's more accurate to the original cab over trucks. The other thing I want to point out to you is, just so you guys don't lose these, there's a clear lens on both of these headlights. And I want to make sure, like mine popped out on this side, and I just happened to hear it hit the floor. I didn't see it happen, but just be aware that these can pop out. You might want to put a dab of glue in there unless you plan on taking them off for some reason. So the rest of the truck, you can see it really cleans up nicely. They did a good job. Everything all the way around is very clean. So I'm pretty happy with the truck mode. Last thing we can do here is give you a little comparison to another third-party Optimus, at least, in the Magic Square. Now this is the 1.0 version, so without the die cast, obviously also without the more premium paint. But it gives you an idea proportionally where these guys are at, and they're very close, but you can see right here, this is where you can really see the cab height difference. And I think that the Fantastic Model is probably more correct. It's kind of up to you what shape you like better, but I like, if I'm going to have a cab over truck, I would like it to look more precise to the original cab over truck. That's about it for today. We are getting these in daily and trying to fill all of our pre-orders. As soon as pre-orders are filled, we will put these in stock and you'll be able to purchase this. Hopefully by Monday is my hope. So you guys hit the site on Monday, get your Margh, and you will be very happy with it. I promise you that. Thanks again for checking out the video, and we will catch you guys soon.